common thing that we hear about the AAA industry, like a common complaint, is that these companies all feel like companies, which is, completely understandable. They're these giant faceless corporations and they act like it. That's not surprising. And that's part of the reason why indie developers get so much love from people and AA developers get so much instant love from people, is because they feel like real people. They don't feel like faceless corporations just following algorithms and charts and Excel sheets to decide what game should be made next and how many crafting elements and different in-game currencies there should be. We like feeling like the games that we're playing are made by real people. And every once in a while, there is a AAA company that feels like it's run by real people. Valve feels like it's run by real people. Bungie, at one point, felt like it was run by real people. And over the last couple weeks, we have been rapidly and repeatedly reminded that a different AAA company, that being Gearbox, is indeed run by a real person. He's kind of a trash can of a real person, but there's something almost endearing about how much of a real person he is. So, in case you missed all this, about a week ago-ish, Randy Pitchford, the head of Gearbox Software, in preparation and in anticipation for Borderlands 4, came out guns blazing and said if you didn't want to pay $80 for the game, that you weren't a real fan, and that a real fan of Borderlands would figure out a way to make $80 perfectly okay. He ended up with one of the worst ratios I've ever seen on this platform. And this is what I mean when I say it's an almost endearing reminder that this company's run by real people. Because, like EA or Activision or flippin' Bethesda, like a faceless corporation wouldn't say something like this. But a real dude who's completely out of touch with reality, you bet your bahookie he would say something like this. And would you believe that Randy did another stupid thing in regards to the price of Borderlands 4 a few days ago? But before we get into that, I want to read his apology for this stupid thing, because it's an absolute hoot. There's timestamps on this video, I think, if you want to skip over this and just go to the most recent stupid thing he did. But before we talk about the most recent stupid thing he did, I want to read you the apology he made for this, because he did eventually post a long apology for this. And it is absolutely hysterical. So we're going to read that, and then we're going to get into the new stupid thing that he did over the weekend, okay? This is going to be fun. Thank you for being a real person, Randy. We all really appreciate it. No one's going to buy Borderlands 4 because of it, but we can at least, get some entertainment out of all this. So, in response to all the controversy over his $80 comment, he says, quote, "I am sorry there was a misunderstanding. There was not a misunderstanding, Randy. You were completely clear about what you said. That was the problem." Like, oh, I'm sorry there was a misunderstanding. I said that if you were a real fan of the game, you would pay $80. I'm sorry there was a misunderstanding. What is there to misunderstand about that? That is the most blatant thing I've ever read. The absolute sincere truth is that I don't want anyone to pay any more than they should or are comfortable with, and I always work with the intent and hope that a customer always feels they got the better end of a deal no matter what they pay. Oh, you don't want anyone to pay more than they're comfortable with, but also if they don't want to pay $80, they're not a real fan. Randy, this isn't how words work. The actual context was that a guy replied to a post about Borderlands 4 on the Nintendo Switch 2 was warning me that if the price ends up being $80, the game will fail. What I was trying to do was explain that it wasn't my call, but that if a $10 price increase does happen, since that's obviously where the industry is going, it will be okay, and that Borderlands 4 will be okay because it's a great game and there are a lot of fans who will see the value and want it. Yeah, here's the interaction that he's referring to. Point to me where this happened. I was trying to explain that a $10 increase is going to be okay because it's a great game and there's fans that'll see value in it. Point to me where that was. We can fact check this, right? That is blatantly not what happened. A guy expressed concern about $80. He may have used some fiery language, sure, but then you used fiery language right back and said you weren't a real fan if you didn't buy this thing for $80. You can't use his allegedly fiery language as justification for what you said and then completely misrepresent what you said. I think my trying to shorthand that using the phrase real fans triggered some people, and I saw that it got inflated as if I was making some big statement. I wasn't. I was just trying to help someone who I thought was sincerely worried about us and looking out for us, and I could see that it was being pressed into the idea that I was taking the audience for granted, which is a super shitty look, but it was not at all my intent and does not reflect how I feel. That's why it took you so long to apologize and correct the record, right? That's why it took you several days and lots of controversy to say anything, right? Because you're so concerned about it being misconstrued. That's why it took you so fucking long to say anything. Again, Randy, this isn't how people work. How often do you interact with people? This is not how people interact with each other. Like, are you from space? The sincere truth is that I'm grateful that anyone likes our games and humbled that so many fans show up to enjoy and support what we do. As an artist, I don't want prices to go up because I want everyone to have access to what we create. I get that business is a thing and that the market and economy are driving prices up, and sooner or later we're going to have to all adapt to that so that the creative engine can make at least as much as it spends to provide us with amazing content. Whatever the case, I'm here to try to entertain people, and my priority has always been to try and add some joy and happiness and creativity to the world. Yes, that's been your intention. That's been your intention. Is that why you have such a fucking loose grip on your flash drives when you go to medieval times? Because you're just trying to spread amazing content everywhere and add some joy and happiness to the world. To whatever extent I succeed at that, you don't succeed at that. The people who work for your company succeed at that. You, personally, don't. I am grateful and honored and take on every effort with passion and humility. Because if there's one word that I think of when I think of Randy Pitchford, it's humility. May I recommend you consider the people who create entertainment you enjoy are actual real people who sincerely are working to try and make cool stuff. Yes, and I'm sure they really appreciate you completely tanking the potential success of their cool stuff. Because as much as I would love to support people making cool stuff, I'm not going to financially do that if you are taking a cut of it. That's the problem here. You're trying to twist the narrative here to be like, oh, just think of the creatives, guys. Think of the creatives. Fucking you first. Like, are you kidding me? You don't get to be a complete asshead and make yourself the face of the company and the face of the project. Every Borderlands ad has Randy Pitchfork's fucking face on it, and now be like, well, think of the people who are making the game. I would love to do that, Randy. Can you get off my screen so I could do that? That's the ultimate irony of all this. We would be doing that if you stopped stealing the spotlight every 5 seconds to remind us of how much of an asshead you are. I have dedicated my life to video games as entertainment, and I have made the choice to be accessible on here. I don't want to let edge cases ruin that for the majority of people who find value in using this medium for a positive connection, but I cannot help that there's a part of me that doesn't want to at least try to help those who don't get it to gain some perspective and some dignity in how they choose to interact. When in doubt, shame the people who interact with you and take no responsibility for what you said. That always works. I'm not claiming I'm perfect, but I don't deserve any less latitude than anyone else. I choose to think of others with the most amount of charity, and I am often surprised to discover some that jump to the worst possible way to consider a thing as doing that is just counter to my nature. Okay, so that's the apology. That was the apology that he posted on May 28th, right? On May 28th, he posted that apology. He feels really bad about the whole thing. He doesn't want to be misconstrued. He doesn't want to make it seem like if you're not a real fan, like, hey, listen, the whole real fan thing, I'm really sorry about that. You know, or at least he wants to sound like he's sorry. He never actually said he's sorry for saying it. He said he was sorry there was a misunderstanding. But, you know, he writes this giant essay about how, you know, about trying to smooth things over, how much he respects his consumers. And then, over the weekend, Randy Pitchfart tweets out, quote, for our real fans who may be cost sensitive, Randy, did you forget everything that happened 5 minutes ago? For our real fans who may be cost sensitive, this very awesome and incredibly fun smash hit video game, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, is free this week on the Epic Games Store. Please enjoy this free gift by grabbing your free copy here, free. That's just, ooh, Do you taste it? Do you taste it in the air? Do you taste the disrespect he has for you in the air? because it should be palpable at this point. You're not a real fan if you don't pay $80 for Borderlands. Gigantic air quote apology for saying that, where he never actually apologizes and basically just justifies what he did and tries to paint with the broad brush of like dignity and have some respect for the real people behind the games. And then immediately after that, hey, if you're a real fan who's a cheapskate, here's a free game for you, you freeloader, you free fuckhead free. And just in case this wasn't incredibly clear, someone responded, says, dude, you need to shut up already. No reason games should be $80, especially if it's anything like 3 or that shit excuse of a movie. Pretty fiery response, although completely understandable given how disappointed people have been in the recent Borderlands offerings, and now you trying to raise the price of Borderlands in the face of disappointing Borderlands offerings. It might be time for you to actually respect your consumer and not constantly beef with them and be this backhanded towards them. But Randy responds, I'm afraid the industry is moving in that direction, and it's just reality that we'll have to accept. The price for Borderlands 4 is going to get announced by the publisher soon. My wish, having worked my ass off on the game, is for as many people as possible to get to play it. First of all, the industry is moving in that direction. Oh gosh, if only someone influential in the industry could prevent that. Randy, the industry is moving in that direction. It literally doesn't have to. All you have to do for it to not move in that direction is to not move it in that direction. Randy. Oh man, like the industry is just going in that direction, guys. Oh man, if only there was someone in the industry in charge of budgets who regularly goes over budget and is irresponsible with money. You know, maybe prices wouldn't be increasing if budgets weren't so high, and maybe budgets wouldn't be so high if people like you were more responsible, Randy. But man, it's not Randy's fault. It's the industry's fault. And Randy's wish here is for as many people as possible to get to play it. But also, if you don't want to pay $80, you're not a real fan. Oh, don't worry. It gets worse still. Darth Knox says, so Randy, you think making backhanded comments towards your consumers about them being cost sensitive is the plan? What the fuck happened to you? Randy says, backhanded? There are literally people who want to play great video games, have a game-ready PC, and may not be able to spend enough to buy a new AAA game for a while. And this week, there's a free offer for one of the best shooter looters to come out over the last 5 years. Just keep doubling down. Double down, triple down, quadruple down. Take an entire Costco-sized shipment of wieners, like hot dog wieners, not those wieners, not those kinds of wieners that you were thinking. Get your mind out of the gutter. Get your mind out of there. Get out of there. Get out. It's dirty. It's dirty in there. Get out of there. Get a whole big box of wieners. Costco-sized box of wieners. Count how many there are. That's how many downs you... I fucking lost the joke I was gonna make. God damn it. I started thinking about Costco wieners. Fuck, Randy, why do you do this to me? So, yeah, let me ask you a question here. If you were on the fence about Borderlands 4, or if you were interested in Borderlands 4, and then this comment, the whole, like, you're not a fan if you don't pay $80, if that comment turned you off to Borderlands 4, I want to know, everything that I've shown you in this video, everything that Randy's been up to since then, does that make you more or less interested in buying the game again? That's really what I want to hammer home here. If Randy Pitchford turned you off to Borderlands 4 with his real fans comment, does any of this make you change your mind back to buying it? Does any of this make you want to give Gearbox money? Because I have no idea how any self-respecting person could actually want to support someone's company when they talk to the consumer like this. And that's why I continue to put a spotlight on it. Randy Pitchford is such a destructive CEO. His attachment to this company is going to destroy it. Because remember what I was saying earlier about faceless corporations versus not faceless corporations? On one hand, having a company run by a real person, or a company that feels like it's run by real people, a benefit of that is people are more willing to support you. But a negative of that is when stuff like this happens, you arguably lose people even more effectively than a faceless corporation would lose you. Because when a faceless corporation is disrespectful, you can write it off as just like, it was just the number crunchers over there. It was just the penny pinchers over there. They're not actual gamers. They're not actual people. It's all just algorithms with people in suits clicking the buttons over there. Of course they disrespected us. That's just gonna happen. It doesn't excuse the disrespect, but it's at least more understandable that the disrespect happened, if that makes sense. So when you put a real person in front of a giant corporation, there are positive examples like Gabe to Valve, a real person in charge of a big corporation who very obviously wants to do what's best for the consumer. But then you have the real people like Randy Pitchford in front of a giant corporation like Gearbox, and you get this. It stings a lot more than it would if the corporation did not have a face. If you're still with me here. It's like I said in the last Randy Pitchford video. I was going to play Borderlands 2. I'm not anymore. Instead, I'm going to run the Doofus Club here. And then all of you doofuses are going to pay attention to the Doofus Discord next week. I think I said this week. I'm actually going to do it next week because I have some shit that I forgot about when I was saying it last week. But next week, the second week of June, is when I'm going to try and organize some game nights with the doofuses. Haven't locked in the details yet, but very likely will be Battlefront 2 because that'll be one of the easier games for me to get a fuckload of you people in there at the same time. And we can just run around the Battlefront 2 servers and raid everybody's closets. Okay? Doofus Club time. I fucking hate Randy Pitchford. God damn it. Dan Border Bridges, One Man Savage, Binary Deviant, Oracle, Unknown, 186718, Kevdog, 1992, Oh No, Joe's Pregnant, Official Drags, Mash Star, Rip and Tear is what my PP says when see Panty, Big Barry, Epion 504, Grimsy, Edge Knight 1789, Ass Rip 3, and DeVito until it's done, Kushka, Nate, it's Murkoff Brand, of course it's Save, Unicorn, Rocco, Wild Gamer 2001, Opossum, Bender Fondue, Ass Shitter 69 420. Sometimes I hate that that's my sense of humor, but that is so my sense of humor, and life is so much funnier because of it. I hate living around a bunch of broke-ass people. Tom from Spokane, Dial Up, Kyle Ward, 789, Sense Nakage, Anon Vola, Master Killer, The Return of the King, Brains Upside Down, George from Seattle, Partial Mean 8, Nick Multheme, Elk Salt, Doka, JG Dusty, Hail the Nuva Pub, Cod Stop It, Codman, 4372WX, Joe It's the Gamer, 127YT, not 127WT, Get It Memorized, Celerat, Gold Pyrex, Zombie Fan, Alderatho 1, since, oh, fuck me, since you're, Since you refuse cat mail, I will shit under fridge. Go check. No? Doug Nigsy, Smiley Face, Blast 1314, Snake Eyes 227, Devastator 2000, Joe, please let us touch tip, you sexy man, MK2396E, I'm still in the moat, Joe, please get help, Hanthax, Machina Gamma, Lee Wolf, Higher Hazard 105, Klepto Penguin, Banshee, GWXSS, Raps the Wolf, Evan K, oh, goodness gracious, Evan Co, OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Really Zerd, Gaming Dead People, All Games Video, Japanese name that I can't read, I'm gonna decide that says Ziggy's Coffee. A vanilla latte from Ziggy's Coffee is what that says. Max Killer, V2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, Todd Howard's our Lord and Savior, Chris Boyd, Pope Raphael the Rat King. That's Pope Raphael the Rat King. Pope Raphael the Rat King. Did I just have a stroke? Why did I think that's not what that said? Jessica Shepard, Ricky Spell, Reedy Kitabi, Muskie, I'm not hyped for GTA 6, it doesn't look that interesting to me. Crewman the Steel Angel, Randy Bitchford is a serial gooner. Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron von Vodham, Ass Ripper 69, Don't Call Me a Doofus, It Hurts My Feelings, Judexican 940, Ass Ripper 202, The First Doofus, Creed Warrior 23, Max Achev, Chap is going away for a while, Take Care for Now, Totally Insane, Even Though Audrey, Black Cobra, The Enwa Slayer, Knight of Cyber, ML04, I 6, Copies of Clip 2006 on Blu-ray, Oh No, It's Poopsie, Wolf Midnight, Sig Rider, Pig Venus, Sig Win Studios, Film Kraken, Ohm Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thornskate, Maganex, Severin Evans, responding to 3, it's Catalina Freaking Why Makes it Pow Pow, Why Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Draws Mex on Twitch, Come Hang Y'all, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Coke Moofus, Hangman for Hire, Eldon the Noble, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Biogenesis, Ian in Action, Fabi Pingus 97, Mega Key, Scruffy Skull, The Ghost Ho, I put The Ghost Ho, Ryu Soggy, to Judge 06, Vasco, Femtenga, Raptor Tim, The Amazing Blight Man, Blue Hook, Jeff from Portland, Slop, Salty Salmon, The Joe, Schnorlax, and Oh No, It's a Sex Cult, Jody Breeze, Smitty Worker, Jägerman Jensen, Oh Hey No, It's Diddy Cubano, Mick Advertisement, Diego Garcia, JJ Dusty, and my Kibigans, I American Idiot, Darth Muffin, Oh No, It's Justin Rand, Roy 21, Mechanical Resonance, Extreme the Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, Negative Creep, Joe Taku, Recovering Alcoholic, Wannabe, Hobo Jidge, Westa, Billet 310 Char, Rob C, Veg, Groovy Banana, Curtin Allen Smack, Wear a Maid Dress once you hit 20k, Joe. Another fucking Japanese name that I can't read. Hang on, I'm gonna run this through the translator. What does this mean? To English. It means crumpet. it just means crumpet. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what to do about this, but that's fine. Okay, toodles.